You are listening to How to Get Over Your Ex, episode number 128, Detachment While in a Relationship. Welcome to How to Get Over Your Ex, a podcast on getting over your ex without it just taking time. I'm your host, breakup coach Dorothy. Let's turn your pain into power and your heartbreak into happy. I am so excited to talk about this topic, Bravehearts. I've had many of you ask me about attachment. How do you remain detached while in a relationship? Or how do you make sure you don't get attached right away while you're dating? And I have to tell you guys, the answer is so simple. Each of you need to learn how to reduce desire and learn how to reduce attachment. Learning the fundamental skill of emotional maturity, learning to create emotion through your thinking. Learning how to reduce emotion through your thinking is going to change your life. And I have to say this because anyone who walks away from the Get Over Your Ex program knows this like the inside of their hand. You create attachment, you create desire. So my simple answer to this question is change your thinking to practice detachment inside of a relationship. Okay? But we're going to talk about this way more in depth about it today, but this is exactly what is taught inside of the Get Over Your Ex program. I teach you this skill. It is a skill that you already have that you can do on your own and learn on your own, but think about what it would be like to harness this skill and become an expert at doing this. It literally changes the trajectory of your life. Now, the main problem I think that I see us running into when it comes to detachment and attachment inside of relationships is when we think it just happens to us, right? It happens to us mentality. It's not within my control, inside or outside of a relationship, meaning, oh, I just become attached by accident inside of the relationship, or I just become attached outside of the relationship. It doesn't really matter. Your relationship status is neutral. It's a neutral circumstance that you have optional thoughts about. But thoughts create the desire and thoughts create the attachment. Now, you might have default thought patterns that tend to create desire or attachment based off of the circumstances that are happening around you. But once you recognize that you are responsible for it, it doesn't matter if it happens by default. You'll know how to react and respond to it. Now, number two, the second thing I think we need to really consider and really think about when it comes to creating detachment while in a relationship is we think if we aren't attached in a relationship, we are also then avoiding love. Like, we can't be madly in love with someone and be detached at the same time. Like, it's a bad thing to be detached from our partner. And I strongly disagree. These things are not mutually exclusive. And I know this because I am a living, breathing, walking example of this. I am madly in love with my partner, Jake, but I know for certain that my future is not dependent on him being in my life. Everything I want with him can be done on my own. It can be done with him, or it can be done without him. That does not mean I don't love him dearly. It does not mean I don't want to be with him in quotes forever. It does not mean that I'll do that life with just anyone. It just simply means that I know things happen in life and I will intentionally believe that, or I will not intentionally believe that I can't do these things without him in my life, or that it would be easier with him in my life. Those beliefs do not serve me, and honestly, they do not serve my partner for that matter. Because when I feel attached to my partner, I show up like a psycho, and that is not a fun relationship to be in. Isn't that crazy to think about? So my question is twofold, and this is kind of what I see as the solution to this if we're going to like go in depth, right? My very simple solution is learn how to reduce and increase desire and attachment through your thinking. And I can give you the step-by-step process. I make it super simple and I show you exactly how to do this inside of the Get Over Your Ex program. But here are some questions and some steps to guide you right now. The first one is, do you believe that attachment is a choice? Do you believe it's even possible for you to reduce attachment to your ex or to a potential partner? I want you to please notice that I'm not asking, will it be easy to do this? I'm not asking, will you naturally do this? A lot of times our natural tendency is to get attached very quickly, and that is okay, and it doesn't have to be a problem. But is it possible to be able to realize when you start noticing that you're getting attached, becoming aware of that, and then change direction? I think a really good example of this was my ectopic pregnancy. Back in November, I went through, I took a pregnancy test. It was positive. And that is a neutral circumstance. And that's a neutral circumstance because many people would have different thoughts about that. Some people would feel scared or nervous about being pregnant because of their thoughts, right? And some people would be excited and giddy because of their thoughts, all around this neutral circumstance, aka this pregnancy test. So for me, I was very excited. I got super attached, you guys. Just went all in within a week. I had like the prenatals. I was reading all of the books. I was doing all the things. I had already started ordering things. I just dove right in. And I think this is what a lot of you do in partnerships. And like I said, this is not a problem. It doesn't have to be a problem. But as soon as I realized this, it helped me learn how I can still be detached from the outcome, but also be madly in love. I can be madly in love with being pregnant and be unattached to having the baby. So, for example, I went through, and I'll talk about this way more in depth in a different episode, but it was like I had lost something that I never actually had. And it created this big portal of possibility for me. I'm just like going way into this more than I planned to. But ultimately, what I'm trying to say is that my ectopic pregnancy was something that I by default was attached to. And I had to take a moment to step back and create thoughts that detached me. So for example, instead of thinking that was my only shot, which makes me feel very attached to that baby working out, I had to believe baby Marilyn is going to come when she's ready to come. Just because I had an ectopic pregnancy this time doesn't mean that that's what it's going to be next time. My life is going to be amazing regardless of whether or not I ever actually have baby Marilyn. What? Again, this is outside of a relationship, but I'm just trying to give you a personal example of how I've practiced this, not in a situation that you might not be in. So, like I said, number one, do you believe that attachment is a choice? Do you believe it's even possible for you to reduce attachment to your ex or to a potential partner? Again, I'm not saying will it be easy? Will you do it naturally? It is going to be a skill that you might have to build, and that is okay. Number two, could it be possible that you fall madly in love with someone while simultaneously practicing detachment? Meaning, could you fall in love with someone and at the same time believe thoughts like, my life would be amazing with him, but it also will be amazing without him. I get to love this person fiercely, and my life's going to be amazing regardless of whether or not we decide to make this work. Or a thought like, I love the portal of possibility he opened up to show me I want this in my future, but I know that it is not tied to him. I love the portal. Another way of saying this in the example that I gave you is I love the portal of possibility, this positive pregnancy test opened up to show me that I actually want a baby in my future, but I know that it's not tied to me. What? So crazy to think about, right? So in conclusion, learning this is a skill. Learning to be more committed to an outcome than attached to it will change your life. Learning this skill will change everything in your life. As you can see, it's not just about in relationships, it's for any outcome you ever want to create, ever, period. Whether it's a new career, a new, financial goal, a relationship, a baby, whatever it might be for you. So number 1, do you see it as something you're in control of? And number 2, are you making detachment mutually exclusive? I can either fall in love or I'm detached. This is one thing that I see as the best way I can help you is through the Get Over Your Ex program. My Bravehearts who have listened to the podcast and done the program talk about it using an analogy of a birdhouse, which is so good. The podcast gives you all the pieces to build the birdhouse, but you might not know how to put them together. So getting the coaching inside of the program takes all those pieces to help you build the birdhouse piece by piece. But the cool part about that is then you have all the tools and the knowledge and the skills so that you can go out and build your own birdhouse when you want to. So I would love to help you with this. This is like my bread and butter. I know this like the inside of my hand. I'm obsessed with this work. I'm obsessed with talking about attachment and commitment and desire. So if you are struggling with this and you really want help, I am sending you all the love. I am here to help you, and I cannot wait to meet you. All right, my friends, I love you so much. I hope you have an amazing week, and I will talk to you next time. If you're loving the How to Get Over Your Ex podcast and you want to learn how to get over your ex in 3 months or less to build a life better than the one you thought you had with your ex, I would like to personally invite you to my next group course where we take everything you've learned here on the podcast and apply it to your life. Come check it out at www.lifecoachdorothy.com.